The giant elite sentinel approached from the other flank, wielding its two-handed battle axe. The ground shaking and ash clouds being kicked up as it walked. The beast briefly felt pity for the other flank for having to fight this thing, but the pity left since it was now the beast's turn to fight. He sprang into action, running towards the elite sentinel, axe held high. He hoped to use his axe paired with his momentum once again. He thrust his forwardmost foot down, causing him to begin a jump, increasing the momentum of the attack. The machine turned its upper body to the right independently from its legs, then sprang its upper body back to the front and somewhat to the left. In the middle of the process of the beast's jump, he was swatted out the air like a fly by the machine's axe. The beast was sent so far to the left that his skid across the floor sent him smashing the back of his head against the wall of the apartment building, leaving a beast-sized crater mark. The beast got back to his feet. The failure of his attack angered him. He was disappointed in himself for being countered in such a way, but he wasn't hurt. Blunt trauma was nothing compared to the prior precision attacks. The beast collected himself, readjusting his grip. He was going to have to take this, slow and hard. He walked towards the sentinel that walked towards him. When both of them were in swinging distance, they both began to swing from their respective upper right to lower left with two hands. The machine was faster with its swing, but the beast converted his attack to a block, smashing axe shaft against axe shaft. The beast and the machine found themselves pushing against each other with their axes. The machine made it look easy, but the beast found himself having to push with every muscle in his body, his teeth gritting to deal with the strain, as his veins expanded to the size of a man's arm. It would have been much easier if the beast wasn't having to push up, as the machine could use its oversized frame to push down with both gears and weight. This was the first time the beast had ever had to look up at an opponent. He did not like it. Growling was pushing and pushing was growling, giving the machine a nice view of his teeth. The beast knew that this struggle wasn't going to end in a good way. He gave in and bent himself backwards and twisted himself to the left, the machine falling forward, but quickly adjusting itself to not fall to the ground. With the beast no longer in the struggle, he gave a short swing, for he had no room for any swing that was larger. And, for what was a swing at shoulder height for the beast, he had only landed a blow to the sentinel's thigh, smashing more than cutting deep, but the leg was still supporting the machine. It would need another blow. But before the beast could attempt another strike, he found that the machine had grabbed his shoulder with its right hand. Its grip was tight and like a giant pinch on the beast's shoulder. His biggest concern, however, was that the machine was bringing its axe down with its left hand, aimed for the beast's head. With no room to parry, the beast raised his arm, fully stretched out with open palm towards the oncoming axe. His arm split in two like firewood, from hand to elbow, sending blood spraying into the beast's mouth, which was agape in pain. So much pain that the beast couldn't even roar. But he internalized the pain, and after the moment of pause in which the machine didn't know what action to take, it didn't expect the beast to live, let alone still stand from such a blow. The beast let go of his axe with his intact arm, and transferred the pain into a furious punch. And with the one punch the machine was sent off its feet, landing on its backside, the beast's axe still in its leg, but as it fell, it took its own axe with it, removing it from the beast's arm, spraying blood in the opposite direction this time. The beast held the bloody mess that was his arm, hand clamping the two parts together, steam rising with a hissing sound as his arm slowly began to sew itself back together. The beast gritting his teeth through the ordeal. He had taken more hurt in 1 hour than he had taken in centuries. He truly began to question his mortality. Was this it? Will he die today against these damn machines? What would happen after this fight, if he lived or died? And will he have to sacrifice himself? He had to stop the waves of possible epiphanies when the machine got back to its feet. It began to limp towards him, limping as its balance was off from the extra axe in its leg. The beast was exhausted. His arm was still a mess, but he would not die today. He ran at the sentinel, straight towards its centre. It swung its axe with both hands from upper left to lower right. As it began to swing, the beast dived to the right of the machine, practically diving into his axe, grabbing it with his good hand. His dive took him past the machine, the axe unwedging itself like a lever. The beast finished his dive for the roll, that somewhat stung as the ash got kicked up into the mess that was his arm. Now behind the machine, it was the beast's turn to attack. With only one good arm, he had to swing the axe over his head, hoping that the axe's weight could do enough damage to compensate for the lack of a hand. The machine whipped round to get another swing, its arm still low from the previous swipe. The beast's axe smashed through the front breastplate of the machine. The beast made sure to try his damnedest to get the axe out. and he ripped the axe free from the sentinel, leaving a battle-axe-sized hole in the front of the machine. Buzzing and beeping in horror, the machine gave a powerful one-handed backslap to get the beast away. The beast blocked with his axe, but the force left him open to attack. The machine swung once more from up high to down low, aiming for the beast's head. The beast used his axe to block again, but due to being one-handed, the balance of the axe was off, and it split in two, head and shaft. Now weaponless, the beast needed to level the playing field. With his good arm, he grabbed the machine's axe from underneath, pushed it up, turned around, and with all his might and the ground almost giving in, the beast lifted the machine over his shoulder, single-handed, muscles near bursting under the weight of the sentinel. The sentinel landed on its back again, but the sudden throwdown and the design of the machine caused the back to hit the ground first, before the underslung arms that kept their momentum, causing the machine to involuntarily snap its axe on its own chest. Now, with a level playing field, the beast knew he had to fight both tooth and nail. Literally. The machine got back up, and there was a moment of calm before the storm. The beast breathed heavily, a mangled, exhausted mess, staring directly into the red eyes of a bipedal machine, covered in dents and sparking out of its chest and leg. The beast needed the machine to move first. It did. Charging him, the beast charged it. The machine reached to grab the beast. The beast jumped into the hands of the machine, but with his left arm he grabbed the machine's shoulder, dug his claws in, pulled himself towards the machine's head, and bit down with the full power of his jaws into the machine's neck. The machine stopped its grab to throw the beast away, causing him to slide backwards on his feet across the ash, nearly falling backwards on a stool. The machine's neck was snarled up. The beast's gums were bloody. One more bite and the machine might fall. Again the beast and the machine charged each other. The beast began his jump, but received a headbutt in return. The beast crashed to the floor, lying on his back. He intended to get up, but this thought went away when the bulk of the machine landed on top of the beast, chest to chest. The beast squirmed briefly and let out a small roar of frustration. He couldn't do anything now, he thought. The beast lifted his head to see and smell. The machine's legs had severed at the cut he had made earlier, removing the machine's ability to stand. The headbutt was just the machine falling into the beast. Is it dead? Bright red eyes met his gaze close up. No, it wasn't dead. The beast found himself being pushed back down, the machine's hands around his throat, intending to crush and strangle. The beast had to act quick or it would be over. With his left arm he grabbed the neck of the machine, digging in his claws as deep as he could, pulling as hard as he could. The machine's neck held. Its grip held. The beast's neck was burning from the friction of the force the machine created. His muscles were holding, but getting weaker, desperately trying to rip the machine's neck. Nothing. He was choking for air. The beast in desperation was pushing against the machine's chest with his mangled right hand. He could feel his neck breaking. No more time. Desperation piled on desperation. The beast moved his right arm into the hole of the machine's chest, pushed it through, with his hand still cut and steaming. He grabbed whatever he could, dug his claws into whatever he could. The red eyes within the machine's brow only a foot away from his own. With one final effort, he pulled both arms back and outwards. Whatever he grabbed inside came out. The machine's neck split in two, and the machine fell limp on top of the beast. The beast, stained dark purple in his own blood, moved the back of his head to the ground. Then he raised his head again, and roared, spluttering out blood, covering himself and the machine in even more hellish liquid. All at once, any machine still fighting, or had stopped to let their larger counterpart fight, ceased their actions, and quickly marched out eastward through the gate and over the wall. They were fleeing simultaneously, as if their morale was linked to the sentinel, to many of the few remaining guards and mercenaries' relief. The beast pushed the sentinel's husk off himself, and fell back down limp to the floor. He was done. The battle was done. He exhaled. Relaxing his eyes, he asked himself, "What now?"